Hey everybody, welcome back to Bros and Shows. I'm your host Josiah, aka Mahler67, and with me, as always, I got my buddy, I got my pal, I got my brother Austin. Austin, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing good too. I can't complain. It is a 3-day weekend, so I am pretty happy. I spent most of last night actually playing Deadlock with my friend Abel and a bunch of his friends, so I got to see what it's like playing with like 5 people. We won one game, lost horrifically another game, and then the last game we were it was a really close game, and I felt like I was doing a lot of damage. Like I was jumping in there doing a lot of things with the Calvin guy, which is like the frost dude.
Oh yeah.
And then as I'm like sitting there going in on 2 people, throwing down a ice grenade, use my ult, and I'm just like, this guy's mine, I'm going to get it. Power goes out.
Oh no.
Power goes out at like 2 a.m. and I'm just like, oh my gosh. I message Abel. I'm like, Abel, my power just went out. And he's like, oh man, we barely lost. Like it was like everyone had everything kind of, if you were here, we would have won type deal thing.
Oh man.
And he's like, if you want to, you could still join back up and keep playing. I'm like, oh no, the power's still out. It was out till like 2:30, 3 o'clock, and I was just sitting there on my phone playing. I reported the outage. Other people had outages too. And then about an hour later, it all kicked back on. And then I went to bed around 3 in the morning because anytime like the power goes out, my brain's automatically like, well, go to sleep. I have no reason to stay up. I can't do anything. But I'm glad that it came back on because I hate sleeping in the heat without a fan. I'm a big air conditioner guy. I'm a big guy, so I need air conditioner or else I'm going to explode into a neutron star.
Oh man.
So yeah, I played that game. This morning I woke up after toss and turn for a bit, got on, and then I binged all of the Batman Cape Crusaders because I was going to watch it last night, but the power went out. And I binged it all. Played up at the same time. What a fantastic way to spend my day. I love today. Today was a great day. It very much hit in the same prospect of like me either in college whenever I had nothing to do or like high school where like I knew I had nothing to do the next day, so I just gamed all day. Like it felt great.
Oh man.
So I very much enjoyed it. And I was doing the coffee run, which is very easy. Coffee runs are very easy. But when you're playing by yourself, you need a very easy like recipe or you're not going to do it. I went 31 days over the completion. And I had so many things set up. Basically, from the moment the thing began, I was nonstop. I had like 6 espresso machines running, and I was just running back and forth, clicking on people the whole time. And it got to the point where I was serving upwards to 700 people a day. And I never had enough seats. So it was always like me fighting the bar of them outside just constantly. I finally lost because of a little mess up with one of the clicks that threw me off, and I guess I lost. But I franchised that baby. And I was really proud of myself. And boy, did I spend a lot of time on that with Cape Crusader in the background. So I'm feeling good. I'm good to go. Austin, how was your day? Was your day a fraction as productive as my day?
Mine was really productive. I actually had to work today, so I last night after we got done playing Played Up, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go because I need to get some sleep. So I do my normal routine where I lay down here, right here in this bed, because like we moved in here. There's my wife. But we lay down right here and I started falling asleep, and like since my computer's right here, I've been watching King of the Hill. So I have headphones that like I Bluetooth my computer because I bought a Bluetooth dongle so I could have headphones.
Yep.
And then I found like an app on my phone that you can use that's Bluetooth mouse, so I can like go the next thing or whatever. And also too is sometimes like when people walk or Ralph walks, like my screen is asleep and it like wakes up and I'm like, oh man, it brights us. So I found a video that's just a black screen video on YouTube that plays like sleep music.
Yeah.
So I just keep it up on here and turn off this monitor. And so that works.
You know what's funny to me is that my roommate Terry, right? Whenever I go to sleep at night, I actually put stuff on my phone so that way it's black screen and I can listen to it because that's what I want to do is listen to it. Terry is a chaotic crazy guy, and he'll go to sleep with his monitor on a static. So if you look up on YouTube, not even white noise, just like static screen, and it will be like a 24-hour static screen, and he'll just play that and go to sleep to that. And I'm like, who hurt you, man? Like, I hated that as a kid. Yeah, like,
cut the cable off.
As a kid, when that screen came on, that would force me awake, and I would be in fear for my life.
It scares me.
Yeah.
No, so I fall asleep, and I couldn't get good sleep because my dog kept constantly laying on me. You know, I'm like you. You know, I got air conditioning in here, and I have like a big ceiling fan. You know, I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. But when you got like a dog on you the whole time, he's like this. You know, it wakes me up all the time. I'm like, oh, come on, man, move. You know, so like, I was kind of tired when I got up this morning. I had to go to work. Worked until about 1 o'clock. And then my friends came over, and then we played some games. I always play like card games on Sundays or Saturdays.
Yeah.
So they came over and we played until 4 o'clock. And then I did some things around here, and I actually fell asleep on the couch. I was like in the middle of watching the last 2 episodes of Batman, and I was like, and I woke up to my wife about to like cover me up, and I'm like, no. I gotta finish this. Like, I gotta watch this, you know? And I was like, I gotta go to the store to get some eBay stuff going, you know? And she's like, oh, okay. And she was just being nice. And then she pulls that whole, hey, I want Durkos. So you're like, yeah, okay, that's fine. So I bought
all right, I'm on it.
But I made myself a cauliflower pizza, buffalo cauliflower pizza with deer burger and buffalo chicken. And it was phenomenal. So... Which reminds me, I have a ton of deer burger that I'm going to set out and make jerky for you. I did it today. I set it out.
I love jerky.
6 pounds of it. So I have like 30 some pounds of it. Dang. So someone gave me. So I was like, I got to get through this. And like, I can make the jerky for people. But yeah. Then I just came in here and I was like, oh man, it's almost time to, do the podcast. So I gotta make the post, and I was like, I gotta go to bed. So now I'm here. So yeah, pretty much that was my day. I was just super busy today, most of the day. So yeah.
Pretty good day. You're all tired. I'm over here actually pretty good because I stayed up so late yesterday. So
yeah, there you go.
That's how life goes. I mean, I slept until I woke up at 8 in the morning. And then my body was like, oh no, the normal time that you want to wake up is too early because you were up till 3. And so I proceeded to go back to bed for another like 2 or 3 hours, and then woke up and started doing everything. So roughly around 7 hours of sleep. So it all works out in the end, I think.
Yeah.
Austin, let's talk about something that doesn't work out all in the end. Let's talk about Batman Caped Crusaders season 1.
Yeah.
Netflix original or Netflix Prime original or whatnot that they're doing.
Amazon Prime original.
What did I say? Netflix? Whatever. They're all the same. They're all money grubbers.
Yeah. Well, at least Amazon is like YouTube Premium. That's what I will say about Amazon. They have like Amazon Prime hooked to their TV service. So it doesn't feel like I'm just paying for a TV service. I'm like, I got Prime.
How I view is that I don't pay for Prime. I pay for the other Amazon services, which, to be fair, aren't fantastic. Like, Amazon Music is garbage. I only used it because I had a Mighty Vibe. Now that I don't have don't need a Mighty Vibe anymore, I use YouTube Premium because I already have YouTube Premium. And anything I watch on Amazon Prime, it's never something that I seek out to see like what's on this. It's just you tell me that something exists on that, and I'm like, cool, I'll watch it.
Awesome.
Yeah. When it comes to Netflix or anything like that, like they don't have anything that really like motivates me outside of like once a month maybe. Like they'll release one show and I'll be like, all right, well, I'm just going to wait for that show to finish and then I'll jump on there and binge it. Same with HBO. It's, like there's just nothing like keeping me around streaming services all that much anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm to a point where, you know, the only thing that I ever really watched on was Hulu. Like, I watched Hulu.
Hulu does
Disney
basically
Plus
all the
with her.
lifting.
You know, that's pretty much it. Like, everything on Hulu I watched. Like, I watched, you know, all of JoJo's on there, all of, you know, what was it, Letterkenny, Shoresy, all that stuff's on there.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched that constantly, and regular show was on there. And now, since Disney's like, you know, doing the bundle thing, I only have Disney Plus. But now I'm probably going to upgrade to the Hulu because with ads, because it's cheaper than just having a solo thing. And I'm like, that sucks. I hate that.
One thing I'll also give Amazon Prime
cable
is that their ads are always like 15 seconds long, and there's none of that crappy like 2-minute long forces you to skip. I hate that. I've also been getting mad at TikTok because TikTok has started adding ads after you get done watching the video, and I get very frustrated with that. And they do that because people will just like let a TikTok run to like generate ads for people or generate revenue for people. And they're like, oh, we place it at the end of it, and then at the end of the ad, it forces you to click off of it. So they do that in an attempt to stop that, and I hate that, but whatever. Companies got companies. That's all that is. So, Austin, what did you think of Cape Crusaders?
Well, actually, I should be asking you what you think of Cape Crusaders.
Did you watch this already?
Yes, I have. I actually watched it when it first came out. When it first was introduced, it was a trailer that I saw, and I was like, whoa. So what I was told about the show is it was the same people that worked on Batman the Animated Series. HBO passed up on it, and I was like, oh man, why? I was like, this is, you know, it's from Batman the Animated Series, you know, same thing. So
animation is expensive now, and as we know, like Warner Brothers is cutting a bunch of funding to a lot of places.
So they passed on this, so Amazon picked this up. And you got producers like Matt Reeves, which is the guy that made the Batman movie, and then you have J.J. Abrams, J.J. Abrams and J.J. Abrams. Why am I thinking someone else? I'm thinking of who am I thinking of? Not J.J.
Zack Snyder, Zack Snyder, Zack Snyder.
No, I always get J.J. Abrams like mixed up with someone else. I think, or maybe I'm not. I don't know. Whatever. Because I'm trying to think who James Gunn. So you have James Gunn, J.J. Abrams, and them all on this production now. Because James Gunn is now taking over the DC. Really, he's the one that's filming all the new DC stuff, like the new Superman that's coming out. He did Suicide Squad, and he did. You know, he was the producer on Peacemaker, which that's getting a season 2, and they just announced all the other characters that were showing back up for that. So I was really excited going forward because it was like, well, if it's the same style of Batman, like animated series, I loved that as a kid growing up. I loved Batman the Animated Series. And I also loved the second series, which is like, I think the New Adventures of Batman and Batman Beyond. I thought those were solid. Like, I love watching those. I still have them, and I watch them because I love them so much. You know, because like you have Kevin Conroy and you have like Mark Hamill. Those are like 2 of the best voice actors in that show, and you're like, these guys are legit. And Kevin Conroy did Batman until he died, you know, and Mark Hamill was like, I'm done doing the Joker.
I'm not doing the Joker.
My Batman's not there anymore, and I'm like, totally agree. But the thing is going into this, I watched the trailer and I was like, wow, they're doing like a thing like in the 50s. I was like, that's interesting. Okay. There was a lot of controversy around the show. I know that there's a reason why, and we talked about it at one point already about the character swap of genders, which I didn't really.
There was only like one of them, or was there more?
One, though. No, it's just one. Yeah. And people really did not like that at all. That's why the rating's a little weird right now on Amazon.
Who cares?
But I'm just like, who cares?
I've always like had the perspective on like changing of characters, like either gender or like race or anything like that, like nationality, that does not bother me as long as the core concept of the character kind of remains the same. And I felt like the Penguin kind of remained the same. Like, yeah, she has kids, but like, who cares? You know, like, I didn't think that warranted any type of issue, you know? Yeah. So I think it's a mute issue. I think you just have a couple people who just want to be annoyed at it's not a one-to-one creation of what they like, and they need to get over it. Like, things aren't being made for them anymore, you know?
Yeah, no, totally. No, I agree.
The only people who things have been made for them in the last like so many years has been the Gravity Falls fandom. Because I don't know if you know this, like that new book that came out called The Book of Bill, that's not a kid-based book. That is a adult book. It has cussing and like all that stuff, like very dark humor in it, because he's like, it's aged with the fandom. These people are not kids no more. They are adults. And I made a book for the adults. And I'm like, that's the like one of the fandoms that aged up with the kids. I like that. Good job, Alex Hirsch. But like this situation, like this show, is it a little dark? Sure, at some degree, yeah. But if you think that it's being made for you and you're like a 40-some-year-old person who used to watch the original one, like you're kind of missing the boat there, man. Like, they're trying to get you to watch it because it's like it, but they're actually hoping that it draws in younger generations to it.
Yeah, you know, that's how I felt like, you know, when people, like the new Ninja Turtles movie. I love the new Ninja Turtles movie, and I was afraid because it's like, people are going to hate this.
Oh, yeah.
If they're fans of the 1987, they're going to hate it. And a lot of them were. They were like, this is terrible. And I was like, it's a kid's show. It's always been a kid's show. Like, you have to come to the terms that there is going to be a time where you have to modernize that kid's show. You will always be able to watch the 1987. And I think that if you try to modernize it too much, you get a movie that it's like how I feel with the Ninja Turtles movies that Michael Bay did. I don't like those movies. I never did. I just think that it was kind of ridiculous. It took the fun out of being a kid's movie. It was just like, here's the serious Turtles. This is the movie for the people from the 90s. And I'm like, no, this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, I want it to be goofy.
So I remember watching the trailer for that movie, Mutant Mayhems, and I actually told my friend, like, I'm actually excited for that. Not because it's meant for me, but because it's meant for a kid. One of the issues that I always had with the Ninja Turtles, right, is that even though they're Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they never felt teenage to me. They always felt like young adults, like 18, 19. And I'm like, are they really teenage? Like, when I think of teenage, I think of immature kids. And whenever I watched the trailer for the Mutant Mayhem, they seemed like immature kids.
They are immature kids.
They seem like teenage kids to me. Like, as a teenager, I would love those like gimmicks and hijinks. As like an adult or like young adult or whatever, I probably wouldn't care as much, but that's not meant for me. I'm not teenage, you know? So I get what you mean, and I very much agree. It's the same thing with anytime I pick up a like animation show that I watch, that I'm like, you gotta remember, it's not meant for you, man. It's meant for a kid. And then whenever you go into a show understanding that, you kind of like shed off this need for like super diverse story or like interesting narratives or whatnot, and you're just like, enjoy the show because that's what kids do. And then you just get blindsided whenever there's a really good story. You're like, oh gosh, this is what Adventure Time is? Oh no. Like, but anyways, awesome. So personally, I really liked this. I thought the Cape Crusader was a really good show. There was dark elements, a lot of like caught you slipping moments type deal thing, as I call it. Like they really tried to like make things seem darker than they are. And I still felt like it was relatively dark. Like it was still like a dark show. Dealt with really dark subjects. But like I didn't really have a issue with it at all. Like I had no problem whatsoever. I had questions, and like, because like this isn't a prequel to the Batman series, right? It's like alternate universe almost. because
it's
like
just like its own thing.
they already have Commissioner Gordon's daughter being like all up in everyone's business, which I believe in Batman canon she's the one who becomes Batgirl, gets shot and becomes Oracle, right? I think that's who she is.
Yeah. Barbara.
They already have Harley Quinn as a character before even showing Joker, which Harley Quinn was only created as a side character for Joker in the original series.
Correct.
And now she's given a full like fledged character, which I was cool with. Highly uncomfortable during that episode, dude, though. Gosh, when they showed the scene with the guy getting tickled, I'm just like, I don't feel comfortable, man. Like, this makes me unnervingly
Eat this food.
I don't want this. They, like you said, they had the female penguin, which personally I like the female penguin more because of the fact that
the
like
number, I knew it. Like,
yeah, I'm a musical guy.
He's gonna love this. He's gonna love this musical part right here.
I'm a musical guy, and the second she started going, I'm like, yep. I will not deny I was a little upset. I felt like I was rug pull. I thought it was going to be Batman musical, but nope, it's just one thing, and it's like, well, that sucks. Also, love the point where she's like, one of my kids betrayed me, and she's like, I already know who did it, and then she kills him, and then you find out it's the other one, and then the dude's like, it's like, I can't believe he did this. What, made you kill your one of your kids? No, got away with it. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, she doesn't care about the kids, which makes complete sense.
Makes complete sense. She's sociopath.
Yeah, yep. And so yeah, like a lot of the villains that were introduced in the show, I really much enjoyed. I was trying to think of which ones were like villains that I knew, and which ones I didn't. Like they had the one Firelight dude, had no idea who that person was.
Yeah, that's actually one of Batman's original villains, actually.
Well, he got originally shot in the face.
So in the comics, he actually flies. Like he flies, and it makes him very dangerous because Batman is like, I remember him like taking over a bridge, and Batman's like trying to fight him on a bridge, and he's like flying in and out, like Batman's like holding on to him. And his name is Firefly. But in this show, they're like, oh, Firebug, because that's the whole joke. But it's Firefly. So you didn't know who that was. I'm guessing you knew who Clayface was, of course. Clayface is like one of the original like Batman OGs.
But okay, I didn't catch Clayface though. That the actor dude?
Yes, that's Clayface.
So okay, so I didn't know that was Clayface. I was a little confused.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I caught that they actually called him Clayface. They just called him by like the actor name the whole time.
So Clayface is like a hate-love relationship with me. Like sometimes I like him as a character, but sometimes I hate him as a character. This one was fine. The one that I love the most actually is from Harley Quinn show, which that's a show I've been wanting us to watch too. Because the Clayface in that is amazing, and King Shark is great in that show. And I know you would like it because it's dark comedy. But that was Clayface, and we also got Harvey Dent. That's Two-Face. That's
the only characters I knew who they were was Harley Quinn, because her name was legitly Quinzel, yeah. And like the second they introduced and she's a psychiatrist, I'm like, okay, Harley Quinn. They just changed her like name a little bit.
Her original name is Quinzel. Her name is Quinzel.
I knew that her name was Harley, like her name was Harley and her last name was like Quinn something. I didn't know it was Quinzel.
Yeah, Harley Quinzel is her full name. But the thing is they did the story different here, and that is because there's no Joker with her.
Yeah.
Because
she's already
the first time you introduce to Harley Quinzel is when she's interviewing Joker, like in Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing. We also, we didn't get a couple other Batman big villains like Bane or
so that's my thing, right? So like we got some headless face rider dude who was like an old ghost. Yeah, I don't know if he was from something.
He is. He's from one of the original Batman comics, which is kind of fun. That
Okay.
was actually my favorite episode this season. I
So-
love that episode. It's
So
great.
it kind of took me out a little bit because I'm not used to Batman just dealing with supernatural stuff. And it's just straight up like, oh, it's this. I'm like, okay, the detectiveness is going to be him finding out how this person is making this illusion be able to hit him and like dodge and do all this stuff. And that's what my brain was to. And then he's just like, it's a freaking ghost. And then dude's like, I'm a ghost expert. It's a freaking ghost. Take this thing, perform black magic, and use this vial to capture him. Like, I'm just over here. I'm like, man, they really went into the supernatural really hard. And my only like get up on that, it's not a bad thing. It was kind of like a whiplash because everything else has been very like detective real life thing, and that was the first like mystical thing, and they went hard on the mystical. Like, it wasn't just this person has special powers, it's like this person is a ghost.
That isn't that crazy. Like, I could see that if that was
No,
like
no,
Marvel or
but
something like that.
I figured
that's
they would like
that.
work up to it and not just have his
okay.
first like supernatural fighting be that. Like, I figured they should have went with the one carnival episode before that,
Hmm.
because the girl was basically a vampire. Like, that's what she was. She just screamed at someone to get their power, their life force. If they would have put that a little bit before that one, I think it wouldn't have jarred me as much. But it was just the extreme. It's a freaking ghost, man. Like, that was
So freaking
the
good.
funniest thing to me, to have him be like, you really think it's a ghost? It's like, I didn't think ghosts were real until tonight. And it's like, you jump to that conclusion so quickly. Like, my brain was still like, yeah, it could still be fake, you know, like it could still be something else. But
Yeah.
no, like, it was a good episode. It was just funny to me how quickly he was instantly like, it's a freaking ghost, call the Ghostbusters. I gotta say, Barbara Gordon was probably one of my favorite characters in this season. I will also say this. I have a fear and not a fear, but a theory of unsureness. And what it is every time a lot of the time when you see Gordon's daughter, Barbara Gordon, you see her in two colors, green and red. She wears green suits and she has red hair. I have it's a theory slash, if they don't introduce poison ivy, I could see them trying to subvert people's expectation by turning Barbara Gordon into poison ivy. I thought it was going to happen in the episode with Harley Quinn when she starts climbing the ivy vines. And I was like, oh, are we going to get a character origination for her getting like ivy powers or affinity with ivy? And I know that like poison ivy is completely different than Barbara Gordon or Rebecca Gordon, whatever her name is. I forget her name. Barbara.
Gordon.
But you know, like sometimes they changed the Penguin. I don't think it's a realm of them to completely alter one character's origination story to give it more like a twist surprise. Like, oh, you didn't see that coming, did ya? And it would be interesting to see another Fall from Grace character, because my only get up that they did with this season that I didn't like is they killed off Two-Face. I hate it when they introduce a villain and then they kill him off.
And poor Oswald.
All I could think of was the Batman movies where the Joker is like the main villain, and then at the end it's like Two-Face shows up and he's like, oh, the next movie's going to be about Two-Face, right? Yeah. And then they kill him and it's just like, man, that guy got the role to be Two-Face and he was so excited to be freaking Two-Face. And then it's like, yeah, you're going to have 20 minutes as Two-Face and then that's it. Like, we're not going to continue. I'm like, that sucks. Like, he's an iconic villain. Keep him around or something. And yes, they killed off Oswald. The whole time, all I could think about was Drew Carey, or where I really loved him from Balls of Fury with the panda skit. And he's just like, I'm going back for the panda. Bane is dead.
So he actually he plays in another animated Batman show that we are actually going to do soon. He actually plays Batman.
Okay.
Which is Harley Quinn. He plays the Batman and Harley Quinn show.
He does a really good job voice acting. Like the voice acting in this show was really top notch. I did notice John DiMaggio in it. Bullock, the second he opened his mouth, I'm like, that's John DiMaggio, man.
Well, you know who did the voice for Firefly, right? Or
yeah, it's the SpongeBob.
Yeah, Tom Kennedy.
Yeah, Tom Kennedy. Yeah.
Yep.
I noticed like a handful of people, but I think those were the two that I really caught. I could have sworn that the person playing Gordon was either Keith David or someone who has a very close vocal frame as Keith David, because when he started talking, I'm like, there's points where he just straight up sounds like Keith David. When he's talking like lower and like trying to be quiet, I'm like, you sound like a Keith David impersonator. But no, it's just some other guy who has a great voice. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah. There's a lot of good people in this show. Like I really enjoy it. What was it? Haley Joe Osment is in this too.
Name sounds familiar. I don't know who that is.
Sora. He plays Sora.
Oh, Sora. Okay, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Topher. Yeah.
Topher.
Topher.
Topher. Yeah, there's a lot of really great voice actors that was in this show, and who was the other one that everyone knows? I want to say Troy Baker, but it's not.
Troy Baker.
Troy Baker was he does a lot of voice acting, but it's not him. I'm trying to think. I don't know why I thought it was him for some odd reason.
I mean, the biggest one for me is freaking
Joe DiMaggio.
John DiMaggio.
John DiMaggio. Yeah, you cannot like pass up his distinctful voice.
Yeah, he has a very like common voice, so not common, a very distinct.
Yeah, yeah, you kind of just hear Bender or what was it, Jake from Adventure Time all the time. He also he played the Joker in one of my favorite Batman animated movies, so he did really well as the Joker. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed this. I thought this was a really good show, and I can't wait. Hopefully it gets renewed for another season, because this is the kind of show that I like. Like it's just an animated show. It's just meant to be fun and exciting, and it made me feel like I was watching the original animated series.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, you had to get used to like the cars, because like when the cars and the gangsters and all that, and I was like, yep, this is the 50s kind of spiel. But I did like their deep dive into like the Harley Quinn episode where Bruce has to go to Harley Quinn for the first time for the therapy because he punches that guy. The whole part where she's like trying to figure out like his whole like background story of like his mom and dad being shot in the alley, type thing. I thought that was really well done. Like it kind of felt like, you could tell that Bruce has not gotten over his grief at all. And it made him Batman, of course, because the kid comes in and says, I want you to help me punish them all.
I do like that.
It's creepy.
I do like he had like I wanted to say glow up, but more of he had like character development in the season, right?
Yeah.
Because he always referred to Alfred as Pennywise or Pennyworth, and then at the end he called him Alfred, like more endearing. So I'm like, okay, I like that they went that route. It's very nice. I did feel like Catwoman kind of got sidelined really, really quickly, but that's okay. Like, I found her whole, like, I'm a poor person now, like, I don't have the money. And then I love the ending where she's just like, sell all my statue, I sold it all already. She's like, wait, what? It's like, yeah, my trip to Bahamas start tomorrow. You owed me all the money, I took it, bye. I was just like, she's such like a rich kid that she didn't think of the idea that the person would just leave her stranded. But she did. My original brain thought is like, that woman has some connection that she will not leave her. But then it's like, nah, she left her. So now she has no one, and that's going to turn her into a more desperate criminal.
Well, that's what you get. That's what you get when you mess with Casper, the friendly ghost.
Mm-hmm.
That's who voices her.
Oh, the Catwoman?
Yeah. That's Caitlin. That's oh, Kristen Rick. Yeah, I knew it was Christina Rick. She's the girl that plays Kat from Casper the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you didn't know that? Yeah, she's
I had no
been in
idea.
a couple other things because like I watched that movie a while ago. And I was like, oh man, whatever happened to her?
Here's the thing, Austin. You say Cat from Casper. I say Wednesday from the Addams Family. That's where I knew she was in Casper, but she's not who I think of whenever I think of that person. She was also in Wednesday, I think it was.
Yeah, she was. Yeah. She was in Wednesday. Yeah.
She was just a quick little scene, but she was in it.
Yeah, because she was the original Wednesday. So
yeah, they had her
in the movie.
No, I didn't know that was her.
Huh. Yeah, that's her.
Huh. I also do know that Arnold Foss, the other cop dude, with Bullock, it's played by Gary Anthony Williams, which I know a lot of people know him from Boondocks. I know him mainly. He's from a lot of things, but the thing that he's been on a lot that I've been watching is Whose Line Is It Anyways?
Of course.
And
see, I've known him forever. He's like one of my favorite. Well, he's on Boondocks. Most people know him on Boondocks. Yeah, correct.
Mm-hmm.
But Whose Line is what I remember him from because he was always on like the brand new Whose Line.
Yeah,
if I'm
he's
correct,
with yeah. Because like he has like an amazing physical health like change. Because in the first season he's like big heavy set, and then the next time he's on he's like super slim down. You're like, what did you do, buddy? That's amazing. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
No, like I like him. He makes me laugh a lot, so I very much enjoy him as a individual. But no, yeah, like they just have. I'm looking at the cast. They have like a crazy number of people that I don't know who Fletcher Deming was. I don't remember him, but that's the guy from Santa Claus.
Yeah.
That's the elf. I think it's like Gerard the elf or something like that. Bernard, that's it. Yeah, Bernard the elf. Recognize him. Yeah, no, like outside of like the characters and whatnot or the voice actors, the show was really good. I liked it a lot. It was a very easy and fun watch.
Well, you know who played Batman, right?
Was it Batman?
Harshman Leekman tour? Or I don't.
I mean, he looks familiar, but I don't know what he's from.
Once you click it, you'll know exactly who he is.
Oh, the priest from Midnight Mass.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, no, he did great.
Yeah, he was solid.
Voice acting is becoming more and more popular. So
It is.
The wide range of actors now doing voice acting lines is great. There are still some voice actors that I would like to see still get roles over other actors. I don't want the what do they call it? The Chris. What's his name? Who's the guy who plays Star? Chris Pratt. Yeah, the Chris Pratt effect to be a thing. I had argument at the Nintendo Olympics I was at about voice acting Chris Pratt, where basically what was said is they're like, well, we were talking about the Mario movie, and they're just like, well, Chris Pratt was there to get people in the seats. I'm like, no, he wasn't. Like the people who went to that show to see Chris Pratt.
Fans.
Well, no. Like the people who wanted to go watch the movie was Mario fans, and it's like, well, kids don't know. They just hear Star-Lord and they think it's him. Like, yeah, but they didn't market it as the voice of Star-Lord plays Mario. They marketed it as Chris Pratt plays Mario. Kids don't know that. Like, kids don't care. And whenever they're just going for Mario, and they're like, no, that's not true. This. I'm like, no. The only reason why they put big named actors into it is for the adults who can identify, not for the kids. And when you have a movie that is meant for kids like Mario, like putting a big name actor in it was stupid. And they tried fighting. It's like, well, who they should have done, the original voice of Mario? I'm like, yeah. It's like, no one knows his name. I'm like, of course no one knows his name, but the second he opened his mouth and go, it's a me, like everyone would know who it was. Like, that's the draw of it, not the draw of like some big time movie actor. Like, I didn't know a single person who went to Mario to watch Chris Pratt. No one did. But I know a lot of people who went to watch Mario. Jack Black, a different story, right? Jack Black is one of those people who can draw people. Chris Pratt is not. It's the same thing with freaking the Sonic movies coming up, right? Keanu Reeves is a big pull. Like, a lot of people are like, a freaking, like, if you're a fan of Sonic, you're going for Sonic. If you're a fan of Keanu Reeves, you're going for Keanu Reeves. There is a mix of people who are going to that, not because they're fans of one or the other, but because they're a fan of one of them. Chris Pratt is not one of those people who do that.
No.
Sorry, that rant off to the side. I'll do that all the time.
But yeah. So I'm glad you liked it. I thoroughly enjoyed this, and it's something I'll probably rewatch multiple times because this is the second time I've watched it.
It's a very simple, easy watch. So it's definitely something that you can just rewatch and have no issue with. It reminds me of just being it brought me back to being a child on Saturday mornings watching cartoons. Like, I just felt like it was something that, like, I could just sit there, not put so much like time and effort into it, but it was just a fun watch. It was a great watch. It was well done. I enjoyed it. The storyline didn't go crazy into, like, you know, it's like, well, actually, you know, and it was episodic. You know, it was really episodic, really. You know, you could watch those episodes, except for the last, I think, 2 episodes, really, with the Harvey Dent thing. Mm-hmm.
I think
there was 2 episodes.
Were like episodic, so I enjoyed it. So, you know, this is gonna be on my watch list multiple times.
Yeah, very much. I enjoyed it and can't wait for the next season if it gets announced. I don't know if it did. Anyways, Austin, let's talk about what we're going to watch next week before we head off. Next week, we're going to watch Shogun, which is a show that I was very excited for whenever it got announced. I've watched most of it. I have to finish the last episode, I think it is, or the last 2 episodes. I only stopped because we got hit with so many shows that we had to watch that I couldn't watch that and other shows at the time. So it'll be nice to finish it. Cause, you know, I'm a weeb. I like anything that is kind of Japanese or like feudal Japan inspired. So I'm really excited for it. It's on Hulu. It'll be a great time, great fun watch. I know you started watching it a little bit, so I can't wait to have a conversation with you about it next week. So, Austin, I want to thank you so much for joining me on this week of Bros and Shows. And I want to thank you all so much for stopping by, and thank you all so much for tuning in.